Previously on Human Convergence.
So that's pretty good news. The footprint is getting smaller and smaller. So technology says that you should live longer, better lives, less pollution, cleaner air, cleaner water, less damage to the environment. Over time, it should be a utopia, right? Star Trek style.
Right.
But it's not.
Right. Well, you said something I wanted to sort of parse out a little bit, is this the idea of longer and better lives. That's not necessarily the same thing, right?
Before we go any further, I want to introduce you to Alex's profile. You know, we have been talking for the last couple of episodes, and we didn't introduce Alex. I wanted to wait for this episode 3, where we're going to talk about health and fitness and psychology, and I think it's a very good time to give introduction to Alex's background. So Alex has been a really old friend of mine. He has a really diverse background. He has been a social worker for many years, and now he's working as a practicing child therapist, especially for teenagers. And he works with families of the teenagers also, not just alone. Recently, he became a father too. And now he's also listed as a coach on Omego's coaching platform. We're going to talk about that later. They are one of our sponsors. Alex and I share a lot of interest in common in exploring the human psychology, the psychology of the civilization itself. And we talked about some of these ideas informally, so I thought he was a great co-host to bring in. I will put a link up for Alex's background. You guys can go and check him out if you want.
Welcome back, humans, to the Human Convergence, to the 6-part series where Alex and I take you to a journey of discovery as to who we are, why are we here, and where are we headed. It talks about this wonderful possible future where humanity joins the club of advanced civilizations in our galaxy and beyond.
And it should be a utopia, right? Star Trek style.
Right.
But it's not.
Right. Well, you said something I wanted to sort of parse out a little bit, is this the idea of longer and better lives. That's not necessarily the same thing, right? Just longevity isn't just...
That's definitely true. So that's a big problem right now in our world. I think we are over the hump. The total percentage of people who are obese or overweight in US is actually not increasing anymore.
Oh, wow.
You saw the movie WALL-E?
Yeah, yes, yep. Oh, man, that's a dark future, yeah.
Right. Humans just like sitting on this white couches and everything is automated because they're so fat, right? So WALL-E was, people should see WALL-E.
Yeah.
It's an animation movie a few years ago. So that future was looking more and more real, because when WALL-E came out, the total percentage of overweight and obese people was increasing. And at that time, it was, I think that stigma is going away now, where you can talk about obesity and overweight as a disease. There was a time in the 90s, early 2000s, where that would be not PC to even bring that up. I was like,
sort of stigmatized.
Yeah, or rather, everybody can be whatever they want to be like. And my point is that, there's a difference between a sumo wrestler. Those guys have many metrics that are very, very good, right? But obesity and overweightness is a disease. The stigma went away because when they realized that it's actually not a problem with your brain, only it's a problem with lifestyle. So if you live in the wrong...
more about that, yeah.
Yeah, if you live in the wrong environment, with the wrong food, with the wrong everything around you, it's not that you're just being lazy. It's more about your environment causing that.
So it's not just a personal responsibility. There can be kind of other factors there.
Yeah, it's almost not at all. I mean, it is indirectly. If you become aware of it, then you can do something about it. But if you just live in the default environment, eat the default food, do the default things, you will become like the WALL-E style. I would say like a vast majority of people will slowly gain weight and become obese.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's the default in the United States or the world, or where?
I mean, that is the shocking thing, right? I mean, Petter and I, Petter, right? So
who's Petter?
Oh yeah, so Petter is one of our guys whom I work with on Lightsphere AI.
Oh yeah.
This channel is kind of independent of that.
Right.
They're sponsoring it.
Yeah, okay.
So shout out to them. Petter works with me, and we were just looking into numbers. He's in Sweden, looking at numbers of obesity and overweightness in different countries. And I was surprised to find that I think Sweden is the same as United States of America now, or maybe slightly higher.
Wow. Because I think there's certainly a perception. It's like, oh, Americans are, fat and overweight. But it feels like you're saying it's global.
Europe is catching up.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think France is still lower, but France's obesity and overweight has, I think, more than doubled since last 20 years.
Wow.
My wife is French, so I go there all the time. I've noticed, but I check the numbers. Yeah, they're increasing. It's increasing in China, in India also, in South America, everywhere. Yeah. Middle East. There's no country spared.
Why is that? Is that about technological advancement, or you'd think that would be...
there's like a whole other episode that we're going to have actually talking about this.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, there's going to be something we'll talk about, which is how does technology cause this problem?
Okay.
It's very interesting. But technology indirectly causes you to become lazy, not lazy on purpose, but not being able to get enough exercise and not having enough time to cook your food and eat properly on a rush. And what you would do by hand or by walking before a lot in all of human history, everything is automated and you're just getting it on a plate. That's one of the main problems. And then the quality of the food that you're eating and what you're eating has dramatically changed.
It's much more processed.
A lot of increase in processed food, decrease in fiber, increase in sugar, increase in white wheat, white rice, which did not even exist, 150 years ago, except for the royalties. You know how they used to identify royalties?
How?
In fossils or even in by looking at tooth decay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they were the only ones who had enough sort of access to sugar to have...
And carbs, fast carbs.
Oh, interesting.
Actually would make
sugar.
Yeah, they would actually make white flour and white rice for the royalties in the past.
Yeah.
Because it was so expensive to do it by hand.
So it's only a food. It's a rare...
So they would have all these diseases of what everybody has now. So you're all royalty in that sense. I don't know if that's a good thing.
So it feels like there's this kind of evolution towards maybe convenience or how,
Yeah. It's like they would find people with tooth decay royalties and also some bones get marks on them because when you get obese, your spine is curving a little bit, too much weight on the knees. They find arthritis is extra with the weight, things like that.
Huh.
And it looks very different when you have a bodybuilder. They the gladiators, they that's how they identify who's a gladiator. Your bones, when they get strong, when you have muscles, lots of muscles, they get stronger, they get thicker. This bone.
Your collarbone?
Collarbone actually arches a little bit as you do a lot of weights.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh.
Upper body weights to make it stronger.
Yeah.
So you could tell who is actually a bodybuilder in the fossils.
Yeah.
Especially when the society became specialized.
Oh, interesting.
After Neolithic, and when we had cities. If you go back in Stone Age, everybody was living in a very similar way. The differentiation of people's roles was much less, right? But going forward in the Neolithic age and later agriculture, royalties, you had bodybuilders and gladiators.
Right, more specialized people, right?
Some of the gladiators probably wanted to do it, I'm sure. I'm not sure how many of those gladiators actually were forced, from what I remember, Roman history. Is that correct, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was, not a choice for people. Slaves.
You better get stronger or you're dead.
Prisoners, right, yeah.
Right. So gladiators, you could recognize, bodybuilders, you could recognize royalties back in those days. But now those disease of royalties, which is processed food, white rice, white flour, sugar, not enough mobility is happening to everybody. So this is to get back to the point, technology is giving us a lot of benefits, but it's also causing a lot of problems. So what is the future of humanity?
Right. Where does it go?
I hope you guys like this episode. We'll look forward to seeing you to the next episode next week. Beyond this mini-series, we're going to be bringing you many, many guests in 3 areas: in the area of AI, the area of space exploration, and in the area of your health and your future and longevity. If you're interested in any of these three areas, and if you want to learn what is going to happen in the near future, and if you want to come on this wonderful journey with me, please click and like and subscribe.